Hi, so we're playing Backgammon. I don't know, I just didn't feel like playing anything else. I played Dreamlight Valley earlier, and yeah, don't really feel like playing anything besides this. So earlier, I was editing one of my books, and I thought I had a big disaster. Ethan and Krista weren't in the story. Well, it turned out they were, so that was a good thing. And then, and I had already... Okay. I had already had the problem where Romeo and Jonah were still in the story, but I came up with a much better story for both of them to get married, and I'm sticking with that one. In their story, okay, I can't remember everything that happens in the story at the moment, but I do know that they're in Australia, and, they decide that they can't wait to get home to get married. They're going to get married in Australia. The only problem is that Natalie's already married. She wasn't able to tell him before, because it's, a horrible situation thing. Natalie was taken by pirates when she was, I think, 11, and the captain of the ship decided that they were married because he had kissed her. So, so they're married, and he made it legal and everything. I don't know if that's possible, but, my story, that's what I made happen. So he made it legal and everything, and so she's married, but, she kind of hoped that, he would have passed away or gotten killed by enemy pirates or something by then, but he didn't. So Luke or Noah is doing the ceremony, and probably Luke, is doing the ceremony, and he gets up to the point of, do you, Natalie, take Romeo to be your lawfully wedded husband? And she goes, I can't! And then she goes and drags him into the kitchen and, says that she's already married. And he's angry, of course. Then what was all this? And, she explained the whole thing. And then they get kidnapped by the husband. I can't remember what his name is, so please don't ask. I got such a bad memory. Anyway, I can't remember what his name was. But anyway, they end up on the husband's island. Well, the husband is trying to kill, is trying to kill Romeo with kindness. They're both getting Natalie's kisses together. So he's already beaten up Romeo several times by that point, so Romeo's not feeling too hot. He really needs a doctor, but he can't, they can't get away from the bad guys yet. So Romeo finally ends up getting into a big old fight with the husband, and you'll have to read the book to find out what happens when it finally comes out. Or I could tell you now. I mean, I could tell you now. I don't necessarily want to, because, it's like I want to brag. Okay, so I want to brag, and this is what happens in my books. But then on the other hand, why would you buy them if you already know what happens? Well, I'll tell you anyway. So anyway, they get into a big old fight, and then there's this big pit. And the husband's trying to go and shove Romeo into the pit, but somehow the husband gets to where he ends up falling into the pit, kicked by Romeo. And Romeo watches him fall down to the ground inside this pit, and something horrible happens. So when Natalie asks, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm sure," and explains. And so then they're able to get married. I actually love that book. There's other books I love more, but I do love that book. Of course, I love all my books. I can actually, I can be nice and comforted by the book enough to go to sleep. Like, sometimes, I love Harry Potter. I love the Harry Potter books. But sometimes I cannot sleep to the Harry Potter books for some reason. But I can usually fall asleep to one of my stories. I'm one of those people that has to fall asleep to a story. It's like my brain is usually going a mile a minute, which is why it is lazy sometimes and doesn't remember things. But, my brain's usually going a mile a minute thinking about some story idea. And then, I have to get to sleep somehow. So I end up putting on one of my stories and falling right to sleep. Well, not necessarily right to sleep, but, after a little while. Anyway, it's nice. Okay, so we're going to go there, and then we're going to go there, and then we're going to go there. And then we're going to hope for double threes. Nope.
Don't worry, Dylan. It's only a picture of his AR.
Okay, so I'm hearing half of a conversation between my husband and our friend, his gamer tag's Dylan the Great, and there's some other people on there. I have no idea who they are. One of them's our niece. She goes by Gotcha Wuffy on the Xbox. Anyway, um, anyway, I have no idea what they're talking about. And it's very confusing. Oh man. Okay, I just don't think I'm winning this one. I might, but I have come back from worse. I really have. But I may not win this one. So I don't know what I was talking about before. I mean, I was talking about my story at one point. There. Okay, so I was talking about my story at one point. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang it. There. Oh, I think I was talking about how I love my stories. Anyway, it's really nice to, be able to go to sleep to something that actually lets you sleep. Although I gotta admit that I cannot fall asleep very well if I'm listening to Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I cannot fall asleep very well. Um, what? What? Why? Yeah. Oh gosh. Haha. Nope, I'm just saying haha. Oh my gosh. Again, saying haha. Nope, saying haha. So that was Dylan. I don't think he was actually on, I don't think he put his voice on the video, but he thinks he's got a crisis, and I don't know if I would call it a crisis or not. So it's not that I'm being heartless or anything. I just think the crisis is funny. So um. It's the best I can do. I really don't want to do that. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, yeah, I thought it was weird because, I mean, neat, but weird that one of our Xbox friends is like 20 minutes away from the other Xbox friend. Like, totally coincidence, you know? I don't want to do that. Well, I could do that. See, that's why I don't want to do that. Ooh, that can be dangerous. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm sorry, Dylan's still having that crisis. Oh, okay. So, what am I doing? Oh, please buy my books from Amazon. Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, Hard Times. That's how we got the captain, the captain's boyfriend, and the first mate. And then later in the series, but available on Amazon, Esperanza's Party and The Island. And then, in a totally unrelated subject, which is kitty cats, I've got Adopted Coral. So, I thought that it would be interesting to everybody to meet our kitty cats. What the heck? Okay. To meet our kitty cats through books and see how they got adopted. You know, because each cat or dog or iguana or whatever you adopt, has a different story. Maybe you got your dog from the pound. Maybe the next dog, the dog next to that looked like a very scary black huge dog. That actually happened to my mother-in-law. That's how I came up with that one. there Okay, so we lived in South Lake Tahoe and there was 4 dogs in the kennels. And they had I think they had just lost their dog baby. She was a Samoyed. She was a sweet dog. She used to babysit our son. Like um he'd be in the playpen sleeping, and as soon as he woke up, he'd get my mother-in-law so he could be changed or something. He was a baby at the time. Anyway, um, so they went to the pound. I want to say the pound is out in Myers. It's a little town just outside of Tahoe, and there was 4. I mean, there was a room and it had 4 cages in it. um, you know, Florida's, I think Florida ceiling cages. And one of those poor dogs, I don't think he was ever going to get adopted because he looked big and mean and scary. He was in the third cage, and I don't remember what was in the because you could go in two different ways. Um, there was a dog on the end, and then there was the black dog, and then there was two other dogs. Well, one of the two other dogs was okay. I don't know what kind it was. It was like a mix of a collie and two other biggish dogs, um, something like that. Anyway, so my mother-in-law ended up adopting her, and her name was Cookie. Unfortunately, Cookie really loved going into the lake, but other than that, she was a good dog. Oh, she was also a loud bark. But now they've got he's a English Springer Spangler, something like that. I think I pronounced it right. Um, anyway, and his name is Brady, and he doesn't bark very loud at all. You know, like I was always having to remind Cookie, could you bark softer, please? And 95% of the time, if we were eating, it would be no. And, she might back off. Anyway, so, Brady, I just have to tell him no once, and he does back off. He knows I'm not sharing that food. He doesn't get table scraps anyway. But, yeah. Cookie just didn't get it. But anyway, Brady's a great dog. Um, anyway, and Coral and Ben and Sam are all great cats. In fact, Sam knows a little bit English. He can say yes, no. He's been using no for both of those lately, but he says hi, hello. He's been known to say nuh-uh and uh-huh. He's listening to us, and we know he's listening. Anyway, so I hope you're having a great day. Know that you are enough. Know that there's no problem you cannot solve or handle. And I'll see you in the next video.